Longyearbyen is the largest settlement and the administrative center of Svalbard, Norway. As of 2013, the town had a population of 2,075. Longyearbyen is located in the Longyear Valley and on the shore of Adventfjorden, a bay of Isfjorden located on the west coast of Spitsbergen. Since 2002, Longyearbyen Community Council has had many of the same responsibilities of a municipality, including utilities, education, cultural facilities, fire department, roads and ports. The town is the seat of the governor of Svalbard. It is the world's northernmost settlement of any kind with greater than 1,000 permanent residents. Known as Longyear City until 1926, the town was established by and named after John Munro Longyear, whose Arctic Coal Company started coal mining operations in 1906. Operations were taken over by Store Norsk Spitsbergen Kill Company in 1916, which still conducts mining. The town was almost completely destroyed by the German Kriegsmarine on 8 August 1943, but was rebuilt after the Second World War. Traditionally, Longyearbyen was a company town, but most mining operations have moved to Svegruva since the 1990s. While the town has seen a large increase in tourism and research, this has seen the arrival of institutions such as the University Centre in Svalbard, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault and Svalbard Satellite Station. The community is served by Svalbard Airport, Longyear and Svalbard Church. History. In 1896, Vesterålens Dampskibsselskab started tours to Hotel Naret. To accommodate tourists, they built a prefabricated hotel, but it was not profitable and was closed after the 1897 season. However, two families overwintered in 1898–99 and Norway Post operated a post office at Hotel Naret from 1897 to 1899. The first commercially viable coal on Svalbard was harvested by Søren Zachariasen in 1899. In 1901, Bergen Spitsbergen Kullgruber Company started mining coal in Adventtoppen. The American industrialist John Munro Longyear visited Spitsbergen as a tourist in 1901, where he met with an expedition prospecting for coal. He returned to Spitsbergen 1903, where he met Henrik B. Naes in Adventfjorden, who gave him samples and information on coal fields. Along with his associate Frederick Hare, Longyear bought the Norwegian claims on the west side of Adventfjorden, and expanded the claim significantly the following year. In 1906, the Boston-based Arctic Coal Company, with Hare and Longyear as the main shareholders, started mining in Mine 1A. After having built docks and housing, the company had American administration, but mostly Norwegian laborers, and named the town Longyear City. Coal was transported the 1.2 kilometers from the mine to the port using an aerial tramway. In 1913, the company started preliminary work to open Mine 2A. Following financial difficulties during the First World War, the mining operations were bought by Store Norsk, which was incorporated in Oslo on 30 November 1916. That year, SNSK built 5 new barracks, including one that was made into a hospital. SNSK introduced its own money with approval from Norges Bank, consisting entirely of banknotes at par with Norwegian krone. The American community buried their dead at Hotel Naret. In 1918, 11 people were killed by the Spanish flu and a graveyard was established in Longyear City. 2 years later, 26 men were killed in a coal dust explosion in Mine 1. This resulted in the mine being closed and electric operation being taken into use in Mine 2. The same year, the first truck was delivered for use in the mining operations. The Church of Norway appointed Thorleif Stenstad as Svalbard's first vicar and teacher in 1920. A school was established as a cooperation between the church and SNSK and had an inaugural 8 pupils. The first Svalbard church opened on 28 August 1921, and the church's reading room was from then used as a school. Longyear City was renamed Longyearbyen in 1926. The Norwegian Telecommunications Administration established a coast radio station, Svalbard Radio, at Finset in 1911, which was moved to Longyearbyen in 1930. The town's tourist industry started in 1935, when SS Lingen started calling regularly during the summer season. In 1937, SNSK established Svalbard to house workers for Mine 1B. An operation of the mine started in 1939. In 1938, Longyearbyen's first road was completed, between the town centre and Svalbard. Operations at Mine 2B, a different entrance to Mine 2A, started in 1939. Svalbard remained unaffected by the German occupation of Norway in 1940. However, from 1941 the archipelago became of strategic importance in the supply chain between the Allied powers, as well as a source of badly needed coal. The Norwegian government in exile rejected a Soviet-British occupation. Instead, the British Army started Operation Gauntlet to evacuate Spitsbergen. On 29 August 1941, the entire population of Ny-Ålesund was evacuated to Longyearbyen. And on 3 September 765 people were evacuated from Longyearbyen to Scotland. Later the last 150 men were also evacuated. With Longyearbyen depopulated, a small German garrison and airstrip was established in Adventjalen, mostly to provide meteorological data. After the British Operation Fritham regained control of Barentsburg, the German forces left Longyearbyen without combat. In September 1943, the Kriegsmarine dispatched 2 battleships, Tirpitz and Scharnhorst, and 9 destroyers to bombard Longyearbyen, Barentsburg and Grumant. Only 4 buildings in Longyearbyen survived: the hospital, the power station, an office building and a residential building, in addition to Svalbard. Longyearbyen remained unsettled until the end of the war, with the first ship from the mainland leaving on 27 June 1945. Post-World War II plans were laid during the war to ensure a quick reconstruction and commencing of mining. By 1948, coal production reached the pre-war level of 480,000 tons per year. Nybyern was established in 1946 and consisted of 5 barracks, each housing 72 people. The first issue of Svalbard Posten was published in November 1948. Until then, there had irregularly been published various wall newspapers. In 1949, Longyearbyen received telephone service with the mainland via a radio connection between Svalbard Radio and Harstad. In 1949, a farm was built in Longyearbyen to hold cattle for milk, pigs and hen. A local radio station started broadcasting in 1950. The burial ground remained in use until 1950, seeing 44 people buried. However, it was discovered that the bodies were failing to decompose because of the permafrost. Bodies have since been sent to the mainland for burial. The community centre Huset opened in 1951. Mining in Mine 1B was terminated in 1958, but operation in Mine 5 started the following year. Preliminary work on Mine 4 started in 1954, and from 1960 it was used as a reserve mine. The Norwegian Air Force started serving Longyearbyen with postal flights in the 1950s. In 1959, a man fell seriously ill, so a landing strip was prepared in Adventjalen. From the same year, Bradlands Safe started serving the Tundra airport with irregular winter flights. In 1957, a principal was hired at the primary school and a new church was opened on 24 August 1958. From 1961, the primary school was supplemented by a private middle school. A branch of Tromsø Sparebank opened in 1959. In the 1960s, the town's farm was closed and replaced by industrial liquefying of powdered milk. The first cereal-produced snowmobile was taken into use in 1961. By 1969, there were 140 registered snowmobiles and only 33 registered cars. From 1962 to 1984, a recreational center was run at Longyearbyen. Ordinary operation in Mine 4 started in 1966 but was terminated by 1970, 2 years after Mine 2B closed. Operations in Mine 6 commenced in 1969. Television broadcasting equipment was installed in 1969, with the schedule of the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation being aired with a 2-week delay. In 1971, a new school building, with a combined primary and lower secondary school, was opened, along with a new gymnasium and a 12.5-meter swimming pool. The Svalbard Council was established on 1 November 1971. It consisted of 17 non-partisan members which were elected or appointed in 3 different groups: SNSK employees, government employees and others. Although the ratio changed several times. Operations of Mine 3 started in March 1971 and operations in Mine 7 commenced the following year. In 1973, the Ministry of Trade and Industry bought a third of SNSK. It continued buying additional shares until reaching a 99.94% ownership in 1976. The airport was opened in 1975 and initially provided 4 weekly services to mainland Norway and semi-weekly services to Russia. In 1978, the community received satellite communications with the mainland. The same year, an upper secondary program was introduced at the public school. From 1984, television programs were broadcast live via satellite. Stornorsk underwent a gradual change during the 1980s. Since 1980, Spitsbergen money has been taken out of circulation and replaced with ordinary Norwegian currency. Mine 6 closed the following year. From 1982, SNSK permitted private individuals to own and operate cars. By 1990, there were 353 registered cars and 883 snow scooters. On 1 July 1983, SNSK moved its head office from Bergen to Longyearbyen. Svalbard Samfunnsdrift, a limited company which was responsible for public infrastructure and services, was established by SNSK on 1 January 1989. Responsibilities included healthcare, the fire department, the kindergarten, roads, garbage disposal, power production, the water and sewer system, the cinemas, cultural actives and the library. Ownership was taken over by the Ministry of Trade and Industry on 1 January 1993. During the 1990s, the authorities started a process to normalize Longyearbyen by abolishing the company town scheme and introducing a full range of services, a varied economy and local democracy. Commercial enterprises included a shopping mall replacing SNSK's provision store in 1992. Similarly, Esso opened a commercial fuel station in 1994. The Svalbard Council changed its regulations from 1993 and allowed parties to run for election. In a step to increase tourism, Svalbard Polar Hotel opened in 1995, and a year later mining of Mine 3 terminated. Longyearbyen Community Council was established in 2002, replacing the Svalbard Council and assimilating SSD, and took on many of the responsibilities and the structure of a municipality. This period also saw the rise of a number of scientific establishments. The Agricultural University of Norway had established a primitive seed bank in 1984. The University Centre in Svalbard opened on 6 September 1993 and had 30 students in its inaugural semester. Telenor Mobile established GSM coverage in 1995, and in 2004 the Svalbard undersea cable system opened, providing fiber optic cable connection to the mainland. The European Incoherent Scatter Scientific Association opened a radar in 1996, followed by Svalbard Satellite Station in 1999 and the Svalbard Global Seed Vault in 2008. Geography. Longyearbyen, the largest settlement in Svalbard, is located in the lower portion of the Longyear Valley, along the Longyear River. The lower parts of the town lie along the southwestern shore of the Bay of Adventfjorden, a 7 by 4 km branch of Isfjorden. Longyearbyen is on the Nordenske Old Land Peninsula of Spitsbergen, the largest island of the Svalbard archipelago. It is the world's northernmost town, with all settlements further north being research or meteorological outposts. Across the bay lie the ghost towns of Advent City and Hyoldham. Longyearbyen is divided into several neighborhoods. On the west side of the river, along the bay, lies the port and affiliated utility and industrial services. The western part of this area is called Bykaya and the eastern part Jumradet. Above lies Scharinga, the site of the governor's offices. Slightly up the valley on the west side lies Gamla Longyearbyen and the church. Even further up lies the graveyard, then Huset and the cinemas, and finally Svedrubyen. Most of the residential, commercial and cultural institutions are located on the east side of the river. Along the bay the area is called Sjoskronten. Further up lies the University Centre and Grovedalen, the largest residential area. Southwards from there is the main shopping area as well as the town hall. To the east is the residential area Lear, and further up Haugen, which is also the location of the school. Furthest up in the valley is Mine 2B and Nybyen, which is mostly used as student housing. Westwards out of town towards Hotel Net is the airport and Mine 3. The remaining mines are located in Adventjalen, to the east of town. Climate. Svalbard's climate is a combination of an Arctic climate tempered by the North Atlantic Current. Nordenske Old Land is the warmest and wettest part of the archipelago, caused by the convergence of mild and humid air from the south and cold air from the north. Average summer highs are typically 3 to 7 degrees Celsius, while average winter highs are -11 to -13 degrees Celsius. Longyearbyen experiences midnight sun from the 19th of April through the 23rd of August. Polar night from the 27th of October through the 14th of February and civil polar night from the 14th of November through the 29th of January. However, due to shading from mountains, the sun is not visible in Longyearbyen until around the 8th of March. Snow typically covers the town from November through March. The warmest temperature ever recorded in Longyearbyen was 21.3 degrees Celsius in July 1979 and the coldest was -46.3 degrees Celsius in March 1986. Demographics. As of 2008, Longyearbyen had a population of 2,040 people. The largest regional group of Norwegians are from northern Norway, particularly Nordland and Troms, which make more than 40% of the population. Roughly 300 people are non-Norwegian citizens, with the largest nationalities being from Thailand, Sweden, Russia and Ukraine. Because of the dominance of the mining industry, the gender distribution is skewed with 60% of adults being males. Longyearbyen has an over-average share of its population between 25 and 44 years old, but nearly no residents over 66. The number of children in relation to the population is at the national average, but Longyearbyen has significantly fewer teenagers than the national average. Longyearbyen experiences a very high turnover. In 2008, 427 people moved away from the town. The average person lived in Longyearbyen for 6.3 years, although it is 6.6 years for Norwegians and 4.3 years for foreigners. In 2009, about a quarter of the population had lived in the town since before 2000, and can thus be regarded as permanent population. The longest residing people tend to work in the mining industry, followed by local government employees. The shortest tenures are held by students and employees in higher education, tourism and the state. 70% of households consist of a single person, compared to 41% on the mainland, giving an average 1.6 people per household. The difference is largely caused by individuals working on Svalbard while their family remains on the mainland. Longyearbyen's population is more highly educated than the national average. 54 compared to 43% have upper secondary education and 30 compared to 26% have tertiary education. Among women, 40% have higher education. Politics and government. Longyearbyen Community Council has many of the same responsibilities of a municipality. It is organized with a 15-member council which since 2011 has been led by Mayor Christine Christophersen of the Labour Party. The council's main responsibilities are infrastructure and utilities, including power, land use and community planning, education from kindergarten to upper secondary level, and child welfare. It operates 3 kindergartens in addition to the 13-grade Longyearbyen school. No care or nursing services and welfare payments are available. Norwegian residents retain pension and medical rights through their mainland municipalities. The University Hospital of North Norway operates a clinic, Longyearbyen Hospital. Other public offices with presence on Longyearbyen are the Norwegian Directorate of Mining, the Norwegian Polar Institute, the Norwegian Tax Administration and the Church of Norway. Longyearbyen is subordinate Nord-Troms District Court and Hålogaland Court of Appeal, both located in Tromsø. The Svalbard Treaty of 1920 established full Norwegian sovereignty over the archipelago. The treaty came into effect in 1925, following the Svalbard Act which established the institution of the Governor of Svalbard. He holds the responsibility as both county governor and chief of police, as well as holding other authority granted from the executive branch. Duties include environmental policy, family law, law enforcement, search and rescue, tourism management, information services, contact with foreign settlements, and judge in some areas of maritime inquiries and judicial examinations, albeit never in the same cases as acting as police. Odd Olsen Ingero has been governor since 2009. He is assisted by a staff of 26 professionals. The institution is subordinate to the Ministry of Justice and the Police, but reports to other ministries in matters within the portfolio. Because of the special treaty status of Svalbard, Longyearbyen is subject to Norwegian legislation, but citizens of any signatory country may conduct commercial activities and live in town. However, people without a source of income can be rejected by the governor. The treaty limits Norway's right to collect taxes to that of financing services on Svalbard. Therefore, Longyearbyen has a lower income tax than mainland Norway, and there is no value-added tax. The treaty has resulted in Longyearbyen being a demilitarized zone and is not part of the European Economic Area nor the Schengen area like the rest of Norway. Culture. The Community Council runs a number of cultural activities, such as a cinema, a youth club, a library and a gallery. The town's sports club is Svalbard Turn. Svalbard Allen is an indoor sports center which includes a multi-sport hall large enough for handball or 3 badminton courts, a shooting range and a 25-meter swimming pool. Svalbard Church of the Church of Norway has the entire archipelago as its parish. The congregational hall is 126 square meters, while the sitting room is 112 square meters. The church is built in half timber. Svalbard Posten is a weekly newspaper, published on Friday. Printing takes place in Tromsø and the majority of subscribers live on the mainland. Ice People, an alternative newspaper in English, is also published weekly. There are two museums in town, Svalbard Museum and the Spitsbergen Airship Museum. Dark Season Blues has been held annually in October since 2003. 20 residents of the town are members of the Liverbirds Svalbard and regularly meet in the Svalbard on match days during the winter months.